Hello guys, it is Tom from Tom's Music Shop, and today we are going to take a look at a beautiful Hohner Corona 2 accordion, one that was still made in Germany with a wooden keyboard, and it has a little problem. And this is a problem that I have seen on numerous accordions. So, let me show you what's going on. Because this is wood here, on this keyboard, well, the wood over the decades it expands, and because it expands, these holes right here, they get somewhat out of place. The buttons in the holes, they in some cases get a little bit in the wrong position. Let's see if I can, there we go, that's a little better. So these buttons are all fine, they're all spongy, everything works fine, but usually it's this inside row that's got some buttons that stick. I don't know how well you can see that, but the buttons just very slightly stick. And the problem with that is, of course, that you will hear some tones without playing anything. So I'm pulling the bellows apart now, nothing's happening, but if I push them together, you can hear that tone. So there are a couple of ways that you can attack this problem. So what to do about this problem? The first thing that you could do is remove this plate here and try to readjust the plate a little bit, because the screws do have a little bit of play holding in this red plate here. There's 3 screws on the left side, 3 on the right, and 2 small ones here. You could take that off and try to adjust the position. But what normally works better is actually to ream the holes a little bit. So I've got this tool here. This is the second method, and the one that I prefer, because you can ream just a little bit off of the inside holes here, so that your buttons don't get stuck anymore. You don't get any tones playing when they're not supposed to be playing, and I think it is the cleanest solution. So let's go ahead and do that now. First things first, I have to take off the grill here. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws for the grill. Always have a nice spot to put them so you don't lose them. And be careful here when you are unscrewing or screwing back in, because you don't want the screwdriver to slide off and puncture this really fragile grill cloth. Here we go. That is the grill. It is in beautiful condition. I don't think this accordion was ever played. Another thing that can happen is in transit, some of these pallets, by the way, they can get a little bit out of position, right? So if they're pushed off to the right side or something because they got jarred in transit, then you may also hear some notes coming when you're not expecting them. In that case, you can just straighten them out by going like this. But if you still have the note coming when it's not supposed to, then you know, like in this case, that something is stuck here. So let's remove this plate now. We have these 2 little baby screws here, and we have those 3 bigger ones here. Again, be very careful while unscrewing to not mar the paint, to not mar the celluloid, especially on an instrument like this. These are not being produced in Germany anymore, so to find one like this in this beautiful condition, that's really quite a find. And I do think these Corona 2s are beautiful instruments. Hohner is one of the most successful accordion manufacturers. I wonder why. Good quality, good marketing. Do any of you guys watching have a personal history with Hohner? I'd like to hear some stories. What was your, maybe you guys out there can tell me, what was your first accordion? Was it a Hohner? And why do you use Hohners now? My story is I found one at a flea market and I bought it because I was curious and I thought it sounded really cool, and that's how it all started. Okay, so now we've got this plate off. I'm not sure if I've ever showed one of these plates before. That's what it looks like. Pretty thin. Okay, that's the inside. So as I mentioned, these buttons are slightly sticking here, and if you would try to move these the placement around a little bit and then put the screws back in, that may help, but eventually it's probably going to cause you problems again. So the best thing to do is to just ream these holes a little bit. Not much. Okay, this is a deburring tool. Let's see if I can focus. And this is actually for metal, deburring metal. So be very careful if you use this tool on plastic because it takes material away quite quickly. I'm just going to take a little bit on each hole. Should hardly be noticeable. If you press too hard, you will notice a size difference, but it's like 1/10 of a millimeter is all that's really causing the problem. So we don't want to take much off, and I am putting more pressure here on this side where the button is causing us problems, and much less pressure here on this side as I'm going around the circle. It's not all the buttons on that row that are causing me issues, but I would like for the holes to look the same, so I'm just going to do all of them. And as you can see, I'm just about done already. That's it. You can clean that up a little bit with some alcohol, but to keep the video shorter, I'm just going to put it back on and we'll give it a test. Put a couple screws back in to give it some tension, and then let's see if that worked already or not. Okay, I'm lifting the bellows up. No sounds, and no sounds. So that seems to have solved our problem. I'm going to put the rest of this together, and I'm going to say thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next time. And if you like this video, please make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Both those things really help out the channel. See you guys next time. Adios.